Do you need ND filters for the DJI Mini 5 Pro? So you may have been lucky enough to have gotten these little beauties here for Christmas, but find some of your footage is blown out or looks like it's stuttering. The thing is, you will need ND filters if you want to get awesome looking footage and buttery smooth motion blur, and you are filming in bright sunlight. And in today's video, I'm going to show you the difference that it makes, plus share with you a top tip that the pros use and don't seem to be sharing. So let's get on with it. Hi everyone, hope you're all tickly-boo. Now don't forget, I'm going to share a tip with you at the end of the video that all the pros seem to be using that they don't share with you, and it will save you a hell of a lot of time. So today we're talking about something small but seriously powerful at leveling up your drone footage: the Freewell ND and ND PL filters for the DJI Mini 5 Pro. If you've ever wondered which filters to use, when to use them, or whether ND PLs are actually worth it, then stick around, as this is going to make your next flight look even better.
I am so excited.
And that little tip really will help save you some time, 90% of the time anyway. Now, I have got the DJI ones as well, but to be honest with you, although they're really good quality, they're quite limited and they don't have the polarized versions, which makes a difference when you film over water or near shiny surfaces and mirrors and things like that. As you probably know, the Mini 5 Pro already has an awesome camera, but like any of the Mini series drones, it struggles, a bit like I did trying to get that word out, it struggles with harsh light. ND filters help you control the shutter speed, keep the motion natural, and avoid that crispy, jittery look that really doesn't make it look natural. And the polarized filters take it the next step further by cutting out the glare, boosting the contrast, perfect for water, glass, and bright landscapes. But first off, what is motion blur? Let me show you. If you have high FPS or shutter speed, then your footage can be a bit jerky to the naked eye. You can see in this footage with no ND filter, and they need to have high FPS and shutter speed to get the exposure correct. And if I pause it here, you'll see that it almost looks like a still photo. All the blades of grass are clear and visible. So to set the FPS at 25, which is correct for the UK and 24 all other parts of the world, you use the 180 rule of doubling the shutter speed to 50. And as you see, even with the ISO set at 100, everything is overexposed. You can't increase the aperture on these, so you're buggered really. Unless, of course, you want to up the FPS and not worry about that motion blur. It's all right for stills and photographs and things like that, but in my honest opinion, I prefer to have it more natural looking. It's all down to your own preference at the end of the day. Now in this footage here, with the correct settings and the correct ND filter on to get the correct exposure, you get that lovely buttery smooth motion blur that makes the footage look natural. And you can see when I pause it here, look at the blades of grass, they are all blurred. Freewell's kits are pretty straightforward. You've got all of the standard ND filters on here, and this pack contains the ND 16, 32, 64, 256 and a 512 and an ND 1000. Now those higher ND filters is what you'd use when you want to get smooth water or waterfalls or clouds all silky smooth and things like that.
This is a long exposure, so don't move.
I haven't used them for that myself yet because I'm not that good at doing it.
They just call you dummy.
But I have got a friend called Seb, and I believe this summer anyway, sometime during this year, we're going to get out and about, and he specialises in doing that with normal cameras. So what we're going to do is learn how to do it on drones together. So if you're interested in that, make sure you hit the old subscribe button so you can find out more about it later on in the year. And then, of course, you get the polarized versions, which combine the neutral density filters with a circular polarizer, so you can get the same range. Personally, as I fly over water a lot, I tend to use them most of the time. You can see here they're quite lightweight, well built, and they snap onto the Mini 5 Pro's gimbal without messing up the balance or anything like that. But you need to remember that they will make this little baby heavier, so you could be breaking the rules in some of the countries. So here's how I use them. I use the ND 16 and 32 and 64 most of the time. If you're shooting with full sun, then use the ND 16 or 32. It's usually going to get that sweet spot. But the 64 may be needed for those harsh midday conditions, and think of beaches, heat waves, things like that. And on softer, cloudy, overcast days, you may get away with not using one at all, or you might just have to revert to that ND 16 and bump up the ISO a little bit. So you don't make that footage a little too dark, because it always looks a bit muddy and things like that. Over water, glass, cars, all things like that, then basically I would always make sure I put one of the polarized ones on, as that's where they really shine. When you're flying over the water, coastal areas, wet roads, all things like that, cuts out that glare and gives you a richer colour. As you can see here, especially on the coastline and Exmouth, it makes everything loads better. You get more detail in the water and less blown out highlights. Now for a quick tip, not the main tip, but another quick one around polarized filters. Now it may seem obvious to you, but I used to forget this all the time when it comes to polarized ones because they are directional. Before you take off, rotate the polarizer until the reflections are minimized, just like this. Now obviously do this pointing the drone towards the scene that you want to shoot while on the ground. And then by adjusting the filter until the glare disappears. It takes about 10 seconds. It'll make a huge difference rather than getting the drone up in the air and having to fly it all the way back to you and then alter it, or worse still, not noticing it and then having to retake the footage. That's if you have enough battery life left, of course. Couple of common mistakes to avoid. Now then, don't go too dark. If your footage looks muddy, drop down the ND level. Don't use the ND PLs at sunrise or sunset. You'll lose too much light and the polarization can often make the sky look pretty uneven, to be honest with you. And always check the gimbal after attaching the filter. Even though they're great and balanced, it's always good practice just to make sure it's working all right. As I said earlier, it's all down to personal preference, but so you can tell the difference between whether they've got ND filters on or not, here's some comparison footage just for you to check out and see what you think. And don't forget, I'll let you know that little top tip at the end of the video. There you go. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. If you've got any questions about it or other tests you want to do, leave them down there as well. But this combination of filters covers 90% of the real world flying that you'll get out there and do, so you can't go wrong with them. I'll leave a link down below if you're interested in getting them. But in a nutshell, the Freewell ND filters and the PL filters are the simple tools that make a massive, massive difference to your footage, I believe anyway. Especially if you want buttery smooth footage that gives better colours, less glare, and absolutely, they must be worth having in your kit. And before I share that top tip with you, don't forget, hit the old like button down below because it makes a huge difference to the channel, especially if you found this useful. And subscribe so you don't miss out on any future reviews or out and about videos. So basically, that tip is really, really simple. As I said earlier, choose your ND filter correctly. Get the highest one on there for the conditions you're about to fly in. So on a sunny day, the 16 or the 32 should be okay in the early mornings. And then when it gets bright sunny conditions, then you're going to need that ND64. And don't forget, if you're over water, as I said earlier, the polarized ones, just get rid of those reflections. Then you put your drone into pro settings, okay? Set your FPS to 25 and your shutter speed to 50, here in the UK anyway. Then set your ISO to auto. That way, if there's any changes in light and things like that, it should compensate for you. And then it'll get rid of any overexposure and things like that. However, if you're definitely going to be flying into the sunlight and then away from it, you've definitely got to do that. And you may even want to consider, even though, after everything I've said, setting your shutter speed to auto once you've got the correct ND filter on for what you're actually looking to film, okay? Now, I know that may go against the grain and everything else to what I've just said to you about getting the buttery smooth footage. However, if you are going to be flying towards the sun and then coming back away from it, you're going to need to alter the shutter speed to get the better exposure on there, because otherwise everything will be too dark and things like that. And it shouldn't impact it that much if you're flying up high in the air. The best thing to do would be to actually fly it back to you, change the ND filters, get the settings correct and everything else, then go back out and then film the piece coming back towards you away from the sun. But as you're probably aware, that's going to take you a lot longer. And also, with the battery life on this little beauty, you may find that you're not able to get all the shots that you want. So that will help you get in that actual shot, especially, as I said, if you're high up in the air, as the motion blur really comes into its own when you're flying low to the ground or actually near objects and things like that. Anyway, hope you found this useful. Until next time, everybody, stay safe out there, have fun making stuff, and above all, keep smiling. See ya.